Then after this, the next question that we are going to understand is going to be on the aspect of consider the following statements. Consider the following statements with regard to the, okay, consider the following statements, and in this you have to find which one is not correct. So guys, always give a proper attention to this aspect of, you know, the what is the main intention of the question. Is are they telling you to find not correct, or are they telling you to find the correct one? So that is something that you have to, you know, focus upon. Okay, that is something that you have to focus upon here. Now when we talk on this particular scenario, what do we understand here? That which of the following is not going to be the correct one. So here when we talk, the dancing girl statue was made using the lost wax technique. All right. The bust of the bearded priest, okay, the bust of the bearded priest is carved from the red sandstone. All right. And the dancing girl was discovered at Harappa. So which of the following statements is not correct? Now what do we know? That the dancing girl was made using lost wax technique or Cire Perdue technique. This is something that is a basic one that you have learned. So the first one is correct, but here they are asking not correct. So you just eliminate the first and then you get 2 and 3. You know that 3 is correct, so you just have to find on second. That the bust of the bearded priest is carved of red sandstone. Now one thing you might have seen in the excavations that have been done in the Harappan civilizations, in those excavations, what do we understand is that the particular excavations, okay, they are going to be, means there is a male bust that has been found that is made of red sandstone, whereas the bearded priest, he was made from the steatite, that was a very common stone. Okay, so the second statement is also incorrect. So here if we go to see the answer, it is going to be the B1. Okay, the answer, it is going to be the B1. So that is going to be there. Now when we move to the next aspect, okay, that is going to be the year. Okay, that is going to be this one. So what do you think is going to be the answer for this particular statement? That is the question number 14. Okay, the question number 14. Read the statement and tell it to me. You can also pause it up and accordingly you can tell it. All right, so here what do we understand is that here if you just see to it, that consider the following statements. So statement 1. So UPSC now has this habit. In the 2025 paper, the UPSC has asked 3 statements. Initially the UPSC only asked 2 statements, but now the UPSC has been asking 3 statements. Okay, so you also need to try to understand, means in the above sessions, in the above questions, we have also seen the 3 statements aspect. Okay, so the Didargunj Yakshini sculpture is a fine example of the Mauryan art known for its polished surface and naturalistic form. Okay, the sculpture holds a chauri fly whisk in her left hand and wears a transparent upper garment. Which of the following is a correct in respect of the above statements? Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, and statement 2 explains statement 1. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, but statement second does not explain statement 1. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is not correct. Okay, and statement 1 is not correct, but statement 2 is correct. So this is what it is generally being told at that point of time. Okay, so here what do we understand is that, what is going to be the next aspect here? Now just think of it, that the Didargunj Yakshini sculpture is a fine example of Mauryan art known for its polished surface and naturalistic form. So what are they telling here? What are they telling? They are, you know, you always have to look at the point, that is the particular thing being informative in nature, or is the particular thing not being informative in nature, or is it being forcefully put there? So here if you just read the statement 1, it is an example of Mauryan art and it is known for its polished surface, so it is being informative in nature. But when you look at the second statement, the sculpture holds a chauri in her left hand and wears a transparent upper garment. So here what they are telling, they are trying to put in facts. They are trying to put in facts. So you have to, even if you do not know, but you have to attempt, so you will have to look at such tricks. Okay, that which one? And here you can also go with logic. That is the Didargunj Yakshini is a fine example of Mauryan art and its polished surface in natural form. You know that during the Mauryan sculptures, there were various Yakshini and Yakshas sculptures were created, and they were in polished forms. And because they were the Yakshi and Yakshini, the Yaksha and Yakshini, so they were created in their naturalistic poses. All right. So the first one, anyhow, it seems to be correct, but the second one, it is the forceful input of the facts. So because of that, we can, just go with the idea that no, it is not correct. So such deep level things not everyone is going to know. But because not everyone is going to know, here we also need to understand that because not everyone knows this, so what we can say is that the second one is not correct. So here the answer is going to be C. All right, the answer it is going to be C. So that is going to be the aspect. All right, now when we talk here on the next question, okay, so the next question is going to be this: with reference to ancient India, consider the following statements. Okay, the first one is animal and symbolism in Mauryan art: lion, bull and elephant. Which one of the following pairs is correct? Which one of the following pairs is correct? So that is what the examination is asking you. So here if you just look at it, okay, here if you are just looking at it, what can we understand here is that if you might have looked into the Ashokan pillars, okay, and for the Ashokan pillars, if you have read this purpose, that what was the purpose of the Ashokan pillars, so automatically it would have become very much easier for you to solve this particular aspect, that what is the purpose of the Ashokan pillars. Now in the particular Ashokan pillars, we know that the crowning animal, it was different, that is lion, there was bull, then there is going to be the particular elephant. So all of these were there. Okay, all of these are going to be there. All right, now what did the lion signify, what did the bull signify, and what did the elephant signify? Which of the following pairs are correct? So the elephant, if you might have read on the Jataka tales that were there, so those Jataka tales, in those Jataka tales it was said that the Queen Maya's dream. Okay, so elephant, it was associated with the particular birth. Okay, bull, it was okay. So here, see, here when we talk, which of the following pairs is correct? So lion, does it signify the Dharma Chakra Parivartana? Lion, does it signify the Dharma Chakra Parivartana? Okay. Then bull, does it signify the strength and fertility? All right. And third, it is going to be elephant, that is the birth of Buddha. Now, when we talk on this, we know that elephant, it is right. That is, it signifies the birth of Buddha. That is a white elephant's dream, that a white elephant had come into the womb. So that is there. When we talk about the bull, so you just think of it. How is the bull? The bull is resilient enough. Okay, the bull has that strength of being resilient enough. So that is there. And the lion, Dharma Chakra Pravartana. So you just remember the Sarnath pillar inscription, Sarnath Ashokan pillar. In the Sarnath Ashokan pillar, what is the crowning animal? Lion. And it was in the Sarnath that Gautam Buddha had given the Dharma Chakra Parivartan. So that was the idea there. Okay. So that is why even this particular thing, when we talk, the answer it is going to be all the three. That is going to be the answer here.